You're at the movies. You just want popcorn. Small is $5, large is $8.50, and sitting between them, there's a medium for $8, $8 for the medium, 50 cents less than the large for noticeably less popcorn. Nobody buys that. Which raises an obvious question. Why is it on the menu at all? Because it isn't there to be bought. It's there to make the large feel like a steal. And the moment you notice that, you can't stop noticing it. It's called the decoy effect, and it's one of the most quietly effective tricks in modern pricing. 3 options, one of them sacrificial, placed there specifically to change how you feel about a different one. By the end of this video, you're going to know exactly how it works. The famous experiment that proved it, the reason your brain is defenseless against it, and where it's hiding in the subscriptions you already pay for. And then something less comfortable. Because the decoy effect isn't only in pricing, it's in how you judge your own life. Let's get into it. Start with the experiment that made this famous. The behavioral economist Dan Ariely noticed a subscription ad for The Economist. 3 options. Web only, $59. Print only, $125. Print and web together, also $125. Look at that middle one again. Print alone costs exactly the same as print plus web. It's strictly worse. Same price, less stuff. There is no person on earth for whom that is the right choice. So Ariely tested it. He gave 100 students those 3 options. 16 took web only, 84 took the combo, and print only? 0, not 1. Then he ran it again with the useless option removed. Just web only and the combo. The results flipped. Now 68% took the cheap web only option. The combo collapsed from 84 to 32. Sit with that for a second. Removing an option that literally nobody chose cut sales of the expensive package by more than half. That worthless middle option wasn't clutter. It was doing almost all of the work. It never needed to be bought. It only needed to be standing there. So why does this work on smart people who already know better? Because of a limitation you can't train your way out of. Psychologists call it relative judgment. Your brain is genuinely bad at knowing what something is worth on its own. Quick, what's a fair price for a cup of coffee? Not what you usually pay. What is it actually worth? You don't know. Nobody knows. There's no number written on the universe, so your brain does the only thing it can do. It compares. Give it 2 options and it struggles, because it has to weigh things that don't convert. Is more storage worth more money? Compared to what? But give it 3, where one is obviously worse than another, and the fog clears instantly. You're no longer asking what things are worth. You're asking which one beats which. That's a much easier question. It's also a completely different question. Researchers named the mechanism back in 1982, asymmetric dominance. The decoy is built to lose. Worse than the option they're steering you toward in every single way, but not clearly worse than the cheap one. So it doesn't compete. It testifies. It stands next to the expensive option and vouches for it. And notice what quietly disappeared. You never compared the price to your own budget or the product to your own needs. That third option swapped the hard question for an easy one. You didn't get outsmarted, you got handed a different problem, and you solved it correctly. Now the part where this video ruins shopping for you. Streaming. Basic, $8. Standard, $14. Premium, $16. Look at standard. $6 more than basic. And only $2 less than premium. It's built to be skipped. Premium isn't the splurge. Standard is what makes premium feel like rounding. Coffee, small, $3.50. Medium, $4.20. Large, $4.30. 10 cents between medium and large. 10. Nobody orders the medium. That's not a pricing accident. That's a diving board. Software pricing pages. And this is the most disciplined version of all. 3 tiers, almost always 3, with the middle one priced close enough to the top that your brain finishes the math before you've finished reading the features. Most of those pages even label the tier they want you to take. Most popular, best value. They're not reporting what other people chose. They're telling you where to look. And back at the movies, the medium popcorn. Same architecture, same job. It exists to be rejected. Once you have the pattern, You'll see it in phone plans and gym memberships and rental cars and wine lists. Look for the option that makes no sense. It usually isn't a mistake. It's usually the point. So here's the uncomfortable question, the one this channel always ends up at. Is this manipulation? Yes. And yet every one of those prices is honest. Nothing is hidden. Nobody lied about the size of the popcorn or the features in the tier. You could read every number, run every calculation, and still walk out holding exactly what they wanted you to hold. That's what makes the decoy effect so elegant and so unsettling. It's a lie assembled entirely out of true statements. The deception isn't in any single fact, it's in the arrangement, which makes it a different animal from a scam. A scam needs you not to look. This one works better when you do look, because looking is the comparison, and the comparison is the trap. But here's where it gets more interesting. It isn't only manipulation. Sometimes the middle option is genuinely somebody's best answer. Sometimes 3 tiers really do serve 3 kinds of customer. And the fact that most people land in the middle is just most people needing the middle. The mechanism doesn't care about intent. The same structure that nudges you into an upgrade you didn't need also helps you decide when you honestly couldn't. So you can't fix this by finding the villains. You can only fix it by changing the question you walk in with. And now the part that has nothing to do with popcorn, because relative judgment isn't a shopping bug. It's how you evaluate everything. You don't know what your salary's worth. You know what it's worth next to your friends. You don't know whether your apartment is good. You know it's smaller than the one you saw on your phone this morning. You don't know if you're doing well. You know how you're doing compared to whoever you looked at last. Same machinery, same shortcut, same blind spot. Except out here, nobody has to build the comparison on purpose. Your feed does it 1,000 times a day, for free. Every scroll hands you a set of options you never asked for. Someone's apartment, someone's relationship, someone's Tuesday, edited. And your own life quietly becomes the middle option. Same price, less stuff. But your life didn't change while you were scrolling. The thing standing next to it did. And that cuts both ways, which is the part worth keeping. The comparison that makes you feel behind isn't information about you. It's information about what got put in the frame. Nobody priced your life. Somebody just moved what was standing beside it. So here's the big idea. The decoy effect was never really about a fake option. It's about who gets to build the menu. Because whoever decides what stands next to what has already made most of your decision before you show up. Not by lying, by arranging. And the counter move is smaller than you'd expect. It's one question, not which of these 3 is the best deal. That question was written for you. Ask instead, what would I pay for this on its own? If the other 2 didn't exist. That's the whole defense. It sounds almost too simple, but it works because it takes the comparison away. And with the comparison gone, the decoy is just a thing nobody wants, sitting on a menu. The medium popcorn doesn't survive that question. Neither does the standard plan. And neither, on a good day, does the feeling that someone else's Tuesday mean something about yours. Your brain is always going to reach for the nearest thing to measure against. That part isn't going anywhere. But you get to notice what's been put there. And sometimes, you get to move it. If this made you look sideways at a pricing page you've scrolled past 100 times, hit that like button. It genuinely helps more than you'd think. And subscribe, because there's a lot more where this came from. This is why we obsess, why we watch, why we buy, why we can't look away.